This is a pretty good one. All right, I love this one. Okay, so I wrote this last night on my finsta. I'm just gonna read it straight up. Gonna throw in a clarification first, since I know some people are gonna change the focus. It is understood that some of these divorces initiated. By the way, I reshared like a post of like a girl talking about like how men don't want to marry anymore.
Men don't want to marry anymore because the risk outweighs the benefits. There's a risk that comes with marriage that essentially only benefits a woman. A man marries you and can only hope that one day you don't wake up and say, I feel like I don't love you anymore and I want to leave and you can't do anything about it. According to ASA, 70 to 80% of divorces are initiated by women. Among college educated women, it jumps to 90%. You know what's crazy? I mean, a lot of us women don't have anything a man actually wants that we can bring to the table.
So that's that. Okay. It is understood that some of these divorces initiated by women can be due to lackey or useless ass husbands. Looking back, I've had girls that I dated and girls I went on dates with belittle me as if I wasn't shit. If it could even be a first date and they act like as if I'm a brokey and not good enough for them financially. Before they even really get to know me and have a preconceived thought that I'm a peasant and treat me as one. We as men don't treat a broke ass girl as a peasant, but somehow if a man dresses like one or looks unintelligent, not like a nerd, like for example me, like I look like a fuckboy, I don't look like a nerd. He can be treated like he is a failure. But when the tables are turned, do we men treat a woman like she's broke? The girls I dated or went on dates with were broke as fuck, possibly came from broke ass families, but did I ever trash on them? Maybe I'm trashing on them right now. But that's after the fact, okay?
Yeah.
I'm tired of the inequality men have to fucking face in this monetary war between men and women. I bring this aspect up because there's not enough people talking about it, and it's always women shitting on men instead. It's horse shit that I make 3 times more than some girls, and they want to act like I'm too broke for them. Maybe because I'm not someone who flaunts what I have, dumbass.
No, she.
What can you offer to the table if you can't do anything else to balance the scale? If a man is more loving than you, drives better than you, or drives you everywhere, makes more than you, buys you more shit, has to pick up your emotional and situational baggage, helps you with your career success, does the same amount of housework as you, and you still treat him like shit as if his salary, which is higher than yours, ain't shit, where is the man plus women equality? Assuming anyone has the above said qualities, yet the other fails to reciprocate or make up in other aspects, marriage is a fucking scam. I'm sorry, I'm not a traditional believer that a woman has to do housework, but if you can't pull your weight in so many areas and maybe be a little bit more loving, what do you have to offer aside from being a prize based on looks?
Yeah, and like most cases, I feel like girls are too entitled to stuff. Like even though you're making more than her, she's still like they kind of like to compare you to like the top percent of people, and like the question you gotta ask is like they want to be treated that way, but can they even like manage to pull a guy that's like a high value man that's all the way up there? They want that, and then so they kind of lash out on you for not kind of being where she expects you to be.
Or kind of like what I said here, right?
Uh-huh.
I went on like a couple first dates, or even like second, third. I get treated and doubted as if I'm not good enough for this girl. I don't say anything or ask questions in a leading way to make that girl feel like she's shit. I don't ask,
Mm.
like, if she showed me she's shit, I don't
Mhm.
ask certain questions like, "Are you sure?" I don't ask her shit like that. Like there's certain like
Uh-huh.
gestures that girls do like, are you sure you're an engineer?
Yeah.
Like she would ask me this
Yeah.
shit. I'm like, what the fuck? Like that's a little bit disrespectful
Yeah.
because you number one, you should just see if he's an engineer. You shouldn't have to ask him because I'm an engineer, right? I think that's kind of like pretty much like showing to the guy or telling the guy, hey, you don't look smart enough to be an engineer. I don't think you're an engineer, something like that. And that translates to disrespect.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of women that I've been on dates with, they straight up just disrespect me like this. Just little things like this.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's not something I could just publicly like be like, "Oh, you're fucked up. How could you say that?"
Yeah.
So there's these small little microaggressions that they have
Mm-hmm.
that it's not enough for me to be like, "Hey, that's fucked up. I'm out. I'm leaving this date." You know? Cuz like if I do that, then I look more like the
Second
asshole.
guessing you.
These girls is like small little second guessing things.
Mm-hmm.
It's so subtle, but it also makes you feel like shit. It also makes you feel like you're nothing.
Do you think they think that they're better, or like that they're too good for you, or like what do you think is like going on in their head?
I don't know what the fuck is going on in their head
Mm-hmm.
that they could fucking probably eat another guy's dick, probably another guy's dick that makes like half as much as I do.
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't like to flaunt like what I said here. I don't like to flaunt what I have. Like what I'm wearing right now is fake shit. This is fake swap meet shit.
Yeah, like nowadays, especially like in our generation and younger generations, they kind of put up a persona, or like they kind of flaunt stuff, and then like they don't actually have that much to back them up. Like everything's just for show, you know?
Yeah.
And then like basically like sometimes you can see a guy that's like wearing all these like swap meet stuff, but then like hop into an expensive car, you know? You're just like, what? That doesn't add up, you know? Like, and I feel like that blows a lot of people's minds away, you know?
Going back to like my post though, like what do you think about like how women can treat us like shit on like first, second, third dates? Like they could disrespect us like this, but do we do that as men? And if you're a woman watching this, you could also leave your comments below because we don't date men. So
Mm-hmm.
I do hear from like some like female friends, like maybe they have had like bad experiences where a man has disrespected them, called her ugly or flat chested because she didn't do X.
Yeah, I think it kind of goes against the norm for guys to kind of do this to girls. I feel like the closest case would be like when you guys are on a date and you kind of feel like the energy's off, or she's kind of disrespecting you. Like I don't feel like most guys do this, but some guys that have been in the game for a long time will like know when to like just stand up and leave. Mm-hmm.
And it's just like weird that there's a lot of talk about men and women being equal. But how come it's okay for a woman to call a guy cheap when the guy has already paid more than the woman?
Yeah.
These two ideas are colliding. They're clashing with one another. One is men and women are equal. The other is, okay, well, I've paid more, but you're still calling me cheap.
Women nowadays are just too like caught up in social media and kind of maybe influenced to be a little bit entitled to stuff. Like if my friend got this, like then I should get this too, you know?
So the standard of happiness because of IG, they're more susceptible to influence by like these social media things, social media outlets. Like, oh girl, your bag looks so nice. I want that too. But do you see a guy like going like, oh shit, your car's nice. I want that too. Maybe you see like those dickheads like go like, oh shit, that guy drives a Lambo. I want to drive a Lambo. But percentage of guys that do that is so little compared to like the girls that go like, oh, your boyfriend's so nice to you. I want that too.
Do you
So
feel like girls get more, is this like jealousy?
yeah,
Kind of like,
jealousy. So that in turn translates or converts to higher standard because we live in an age where we could see everyone's pictures, what's going on in their life so easily that if everyone's posting their good self, if everyone's posting like, oh, I got this gift, but they're not posting this bad shit happened to me today, then they're gonna want to compare their own experience to that person and be like, oh shit, this girl got something really nice. I want to get something really nice too. Or this girl has a really nice looking boyfriend, buff, makes a lot of money, is a doctor, etc., and then treats her like right with like all these materialistic things. Then that's why the standard is getting a lot higher, in my opinion. Backtracking to what I was talking about, like with the disrespect of like how women can just like disrespect man in a date.
obviously in these situations, the guys are the ones that are getting like getting hit the hardest, right? Because they're getting a hit to their ego, and then like they're just like, I've worked really hard to get where I am right now.
It hits guys hard, pretty hard, and guys don't talk about this. There's not enough guys that talk about this. I think I did mention that in here, right?
Mm-hmm.
Where I said the problem is existent for both genders. The issue is guys don't talk about it because they're expected to be a man. There's not enough awareness on this. The awareness needs to spread with this, and men should feel like they need to talk about this more. But whenever men talk about this, the problem is women knock them down. They could probably call them a misogynist. So right now, maybe someone watching this could probably even think we're a misogynist, but all we're asking for is a little bit of respect. All we're asking for is a woman to not disrespect us on a first date or second date, or moving forward. Just don't disrespect us, especially when it's not equal. Especially when I paid you more shit in this relationship. Why the fuck should you be calling me cheap? Just because I'm a man? What the fuck did you bring to the table as a girl?
Yeah.
Just because you're a girl, you think, oh, I don't have to fucking pay that much, and I don't need to be called cheap. No, you're fucking cheap, bitch. You're fucking broke, cheap, bitch. The fact that you can call me cheap, call me broke, when you're way cheaper than me, way broker than me.
We're not being treated the equal right now.
Where's the equality in that, you know? Again, I want to like give a disclaimer. I'm not denying that like women have to face like garbage ass men, and there's like definitely garbage ass men out there who leeches off a woman, or doesn't pay at all for a woman, doesn't take care of his women. But the problem is like we need to spread more awareness for these situations where guys are just getting doubted, like right at first glance, first date, doubted, disrespected. Why can't a woman just go like, oh, you sure? You sure? Fucking don't give me that attitude. Yeah. I'm sure I make way more than you, bitch. The fuck? And she is a bitch. God made a fucking term for this world. God made a term. Bitch, dick, fucker.
So we could use them.
So we could use them for these fucking bitches. Bitches like this. If you're a girl that doesn't do this, you're obviously not a bitch. You're like a woman, a respectable woman. But God made a word like this. And that's funny because like when a girl is actually a bitch, if we call her a bitch, it's labeled misogynist. But a guy who's actually a dick gets called a dick. Even a guy who isn't actually a dick gets called a dick. It's okay. No one calls out that woman. No one says she's a misandrist. It's weird, right?
Yeah.
It's weird. There's just so many like norms that like women can do that men cannot do. And all I'm saying is that like I think there needs to be more awareness that's spread so that there could be actual equality in the world.
A woman needs love, a man needs respect. But it's almost easy for us to say, well, he can get my respect when he earns it. Can you imagine if your husband said she can have my love when she earns it? Just as much as women need love, your husband needs respect. Not only was he created to be able to need this, to receive it, he was built that way, he's going to be drawn to the places where he actually does receive it. Whether it's his workplace, you know, some of us are like, why is he always out of the house? Why doesn't he like to be at home? Why does he always feel so grumpy or look so grumpy when he's at home? But then for some reason, when we're out with his friends or when he's at work, he's thriving there. You see so much joy in him. It's because he's receiving respect. He's going to find respect in the relationships where he receives it. And if that's the case, we've got to figure out a way to understand that there is a true need for a man to be able to receive respect.